Hey, what up, everybody? Yeah, I know it's been a minute since I got at you, but look, it's been so much stuff going on, and I got stuff going on. And anyway, let's get into some of this stuff. First off, let's talk about this Pelosi and Trump situation. Let's just talk a little bit about it, because, it ain't work. But everybody know Pelosi tried to delay or alter, manage, some kind of way, interfere with State of the Union address. She told the president, we don't have the security for it, blah, 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 blah. Then after all of the security entities, the forces, which was Homeland Security and the FBI, all said, we got you. Don't worry about it. It's no problem. And Trump took the keys to the plane from Nancy. So Nancy couldn't go to her PR tour, Afghanistan, Brussels, and I think there was one other location scheduled. But anyway, so her whole entourage got shut down, and so but the media was cheering her, Nancy, when she was trying to interfere with the State of the Union address. But then when Trump responded and smacked her down, they didn't like that, and they called that petty, but it wasn't petty from her. Anyway, long or short, he was effective, she was not, and it looks like masculinity won over femininity, and in reality, my opinion, that's what the real issue is. That's the real argument, and that's the real battle going on today in Washington, D.C., the rest of the world. It's a big component of the real spiritual warfare that we're caught up in today. But, I know that some of us don't really get it, but listen, you're not going to be able to understand anything if you can't see into the spiritual realm of this. It is just that simple. Because none of it makes sense unless you do compare what is the spirit of this. So the other thing, yesterday there was the March for Life. And, which seems to be really growing in momentum. It's like 100,000 people who are actually marching. And this took place yesterday, and I guess all along the way there was ample support, and there's new hope in the fight for life and the efforts to stop abortion. There's real hope for that right now, as there's a case that has just been rejected by a Texas court. And there's a good chance that this case will be in front of the Supreme Court, which right now has a firmly conservative majority. And I was telling people a long time ago, this is on the way to overturn the Roe v. Wade. Yeah, okay, all right, that's what happened yesterday, or the march was yesterday. And President Trump got out loud and clear and firm and unequivocally in support of the right to life. The right to life. I want to say stuff in the spiritual realm on right to life, because I wasn't going to do it, but I am. You cannot you cannot love God and support abortion. You just can't do it. You're lying if you say so. I don't believe shit you say. You're fake. You're complete phony. You're unworthy of Christ, of salvation, mercy, anything. If you can sit up and say that you really believe that God would support you in your love for abortion, or some kind of way say, oh, it's the woman, the child has no rights. The child, that's irrelevant. It's what this woman wants, not the father, not the child. The woman. This was one of the first big mistakes. This was the beginning of the end, as I see it. Anyway, okay, moving right along. Today is Saturday. There's the Women's March is scheduled for today. Okay, of course, everybody remembers last year, the big pink hats, and or was it 2 years ago? Anyway, it was, the pussy hats, and they ran around Washington, D.C. and New York, I guess, and Madonna and Katy Perry, and and they were just like, it was really, in my opinion, a sign of the time. I'm no longer surprised. What I am a little bit surprised about is that this year, their tendency seems to be way down. Now, these are anti-Semitic leaders. The leaders of the Women March are anti-Semitic. They're tied to anything Islam Islam, which is anti-God, anti-Jew, anti-Christian. Anything Islam is anti-God, anti-Jew, anti-Christian. So any Christians who sign on to any of the, the Muslim doctrine, I don't know any other way to put it, any of the Islamic doctrine, you associate with Louis Farrakhan, Keith Ellison, the new leadership or the newly elected leaders in the Democratic Party who happen to represent Islam. All these individuals are here as anti-God representatives. They are anti our values, and unfortunately, this is you're not supposed to be able to say that. But most of these individuals will not represent our interests in general. Okay, so I'm a little bit I do want to keep things out of here because they kind of make problems. Anyway, some of the things that are going on, nobody else is going to tell you about. You're gonna have to do some real thinking on your own. You're not going to be able to get this information from mainstream media. You're going to have to be prayerful about it. You're not going to be able to come up with an answer for everything. Because the answers aren't in math, they aren't in social science books, they're not in psychology, they're actually in scripture. That's where the answers are. That's why none of this that's going on right now makes sense to a lot of you because you need more scriptural exposure. So get into that. Thank you. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.